Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamaduchyate Purnasya Purnamataya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti. So, we've kind of worked on the foundations, at least the theoretical foundations of what we should be doing. Now till we have 1 hour now?
45 minutes.
We have till 12 o'clock. So we have two choices. Do I go through the theory of Kriya for you now or in the afternoon? Or do you want to, as of now, where we have stopped, ask questions and discuss? If you have any clarifications to be made, you can decide on it. So, no, but you don't have any doubts. Huh? No? Okay, then in that case, my suggestion is that, okay, we will go into the theory and theory of Kriya right now. But if you have any questions from the morning session and also after the Kriya, we will do that during the first evening session. Second evening session, we will actually practice. I'll teach you the practice. Because it will take time, I have to individually go and whisper into every ear. I'm joking. Okay. So now, there are two things. One is that we have a hypothesis. We have a hypothesis before us that there is a supreme reality hypothesis, a supreme reality which is all-pervading. But somehow being all-pervading, we are not able to access it, even though it's supposed to be. Then it's like a contradiction, but we are not able to access it. 1. 2, that reality which we spoken of is in its true essence complete, Purna. That is complete. That's supreme. That which we seek. Probably that is why we also seek completeness and wholeness. We always feel we are inadequate, we are not complete, we are not whole. So we look for it. We look for completeness in different ways. The bachelor thinks by marrying he will become complete. The married man thinks by divorce he will become complete. So it goes on and on, Like we seek it everywhere, but actually we don't seem to find this completeness. So the good news, according to the Vedas, is Purnamada Purnamidam, you are also complete. It's not only that which is complete, this is also complete, but we haven't realized the completeness, the complete potential of our completeness. It is there, hidden somewhere in the depth. It makes us want to expand, to become bigger in many ways. I'm not talking about physical to become bigger, but in many ways. So there are two things here. One is there is a reality, and the other is that reality is also in us. So the question is, if it is in us, that completeness which we seek outside, why aren't we able to access it? What's preventing us from accessing? So the first step would be to at least have a hypothesis that it exists. Could be. Keep it there. Because you can't prove a theorem without a hypothesis. Keep this hypothesis. And all the thousands of people who have said there for thousands of years couldn't have been all wrong. So at least have that as a hypothesis. And then, is there a way to find it? Yes, there is a way to find it. The reason why we don't access it is because our minds are so preoccupied, so much in conflict, there's so much confusion, there's so much contradictions in the mind that most of our energy, which would be required to find something so important as your true essence, is wasted every day, every single day in different activities, different thoughts, different, you know how it works, the mind. So from that, the conclusion we can draw is that, I don't like conclusions, but from that the idea we can draw is that if the mind can be free of distraction, if the mind can become tranquil, then it is able to access that fullness in us, which is actually a spark of the universal fullness. And it's also blissful. It's that bliss that we seek when we try to find happiness here and there. There's no better way to describe it than Kabir's beautiful story about the musk deer that looks around to find out, you know, the musk deer, the Kasturi Mriga. It has a little pouch under his belly. In a certain season, this beautiful fragrance of the musk coming out. It produces musk. But the poor deer doesn't know where the source is. It's looking for it everywhere around the world, poking its snout into the thorny bushes and bleeding, and yet not knowing that the source is under his belly. So Kabir said, turn around, man, look, it's here. What you seek is here. You can get the whiff of the fragrance everywhere, but the source is here. Huh? So, now that kasturi or that musk can be accessed only if the mind is free of distraction, the waste and the dissipation of energies which take place regularly. This confusion has to move. If that happens, then that purified mind, when its tranquil state, can access this, can actually touch it. Which is why the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, the great Patanjali, defined yoga as yoga's chitta vritti nirodha. Yoga is the complete elimination of all the disturbances and the distractions of the mind. This is yoga, definition. Okay, now why is this not possible? Simply I should sit down and say, okay, distractions go, but they don't go. The reason, according to yoga, and also according to Kriya Yoga, which is part of yoga, of course, is that we have more than 100 channels in our system through which our energies flow. Consider thought also to be energy, okay? They flow through different channels. There are more than 1,008. 1,008 is a metaphor, it means numerous channels. Among these channels, there are three which are very important. The one that comes from here and goes to the left side, crosses here and goes to the right side, is called the Pingala. That which comes from here and goes to the left is called the Ida. So there are two nadis, Ida and Pingala. When you say nadi, it means a channel. The channel or through which the energies operate. There is also a central one which is called the Sushumna, which stretches from the bottom of the spine to the top of the head, straight. And these are on two sides. They are very similar to the, the symbol of Hippocrates. You find in the medical, with a stick with two winged wand with two snakes intertwined around. The winged wand, central wand, is the Sushumna, and the other two are the Ida and the Pingala. And unless your body and mind are healthy, which is why it's a health symbol, you cannot reach that. Instead of reaching Hippocrates, you will be a hypocrite all the time. So, So for normal purposes, all that we do, eating, drinking, sleeping, sex, building your career, doing this, doing that, all the things that we do. You need the energies to function only through the Ida and Pingala. Some things are done better when it is moving in the Pingala, And some things are better when it is moving through the Ida, but these are all that we need. All our distractions, disturbances, everything is through these. Energies are moving through this. And therefore they are being dissipated and wasted. Wasted in relation to meditation, not otherwise. Otherwise it's okay. So Kriya Yoga, like many other techniques of yoga, is a way by which the energies which, now when you say Ida and Pingala, I don't deliberately call them positive and negative, because when I say negative, it has a negative connotation. It's not negative. It's simply like an electrical charge, like an anode and a cathode. The two charges are required. So these are the two charges that are in the system. Now, if you need to go beyond the ordinary things in life, which means if you need to gather your energies together, which are essential to move forward, it's a serious matter, and not allow it to be dissipated by the Ida and Pingala movement, then you need to learn how to gather them together in one place and then concentratedly, with full attention and energy, move through the central channel. Now, anatomically, you can compare the Ida and Pingala to the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system, and the Sushumna to the central nervous system. It's all very scientific. I mean, there's nothing hocus pocus out here. So, okay. So, what happens? So, when you have gathered these energies together in the lowest part from where all the nadis end, actually, you can say end or start, whichever way you look at it, then this energy is then concentrated, and slowly your awareness along with the energy ascends from grosser to the subtler levels of the psyche. So it has to first gather in the Mooladhara. The Mooladhara, the word means root, foundation. Moola, Adhara. Then from there to slowly move step by step on to the different levels until it reaches here. When it reaches here, then the yogi has transcended all the ordinary things and has touched, in essence, that Purna, which is also there and here at the same time. That is that there is nothing more to be done. He is free. Right? It's like how do it's like then the journey is like Suhana Safar. So I think if I can do it, you can do it. Please, I am giving you this hope. If I could have done it, I don't know why you can't do it. It takes practice, it needs work, it needs attention, it needs energies to be gathered together. But if you are really determined, I think it can be done. Okay. So the whole technique of Kriya is how to do this actually. This is the technique of Kriya. Now for this, I would want to draw a diagram here to kind of make you understand this a little better, so that when you sit down to do, you know roughly what you're doing. Let me see how to get out of this complication. If I take this off, then Deepu will be in trouble. So you can record now. In the afternoon question answer you can record, but when we begin the Kriya, stop. This is the brightest we have here. Can you see there? Yeah, I think everybody can see. Ah, this is nice. Uh-huh. Good for proportion. Supposed to be a Okay. Head became little short. Better to laugh, right? It's another color, so. Can't see. I don't belong to any political party, okay? अब भी ऐसा बोलते हो क्या? No, good. Even if they hear this, अरे श्रीयम भी ऐसे बोलते हैं. All this you will get to know why I'm doing that. I'm not decorating them for nothing. Not a pastime, huh? One. Two. Three. Four. 5. 6. 7. Okay. Now you see this. Where's the microphone? Sorry. Thank you. So you see this here. This is what I was trying to explain. One nadi starts from this side, crosses here, and goes down to the other side. The other crosses here and goes down to. Both of them meet here, and from here goes a straight one right up. So the left side is the Ida. You don't have to remember the names, I am just writing. Ida. Ida. Pingala. Sushumna. These are all we require. We don't require any other to look into anything else. And this is the 1,000-petaled lotus called the Sahasrara. Now please, 1,000-petal is a metaphor, it means many petaled. And this, the bottom part, is the Muladhara, the last one. Okay. Now, usually the prana is moving through this side and this side. We need to gather it all up at the Muladhara, open the gate. Gate is closed. Generally the Sushumna, for most of us, is full of muck. So you need to open it up. So the first part of Kriya is meant to flush the Sushumna, to get it clean. Once it is clean, you don't have to apply pressure. Things happen by themselves slowly. Because it's dangerous to apply pressure when your Sushumna is still full of muck, blocked. So the first step is to clean it up. After that, then you begin the other things. Okay. Now you see that the Ida and the Pingala join, it's actually wrong, they join here between the eyebrows and come down. So for us yogis, this is called the Ajna center. This center is, we call it Varanasi, because the Varuna river and the Asi river come on both sides and cross here. So that's Varanasi. And the Jumbo Mahadev sits here. I mean, not like with a snake, but whatever. So this is the whole symbology of this. They also have symbols. I'll explain them. Here is the bottom one is a square, golden yellow in color with a red triangle inside, which is apex down. Don't have to go into the details. And there, the next center, which would be somewhere here below the navel, which is called the Swadhisthana, is like a moon, and the color of moon. So here, just above the navel, is the Manipura, which is the color of fire, and which is like a triangle with its apex up. Trikonam Aruna Prabham, that's the one here. Then you have the center here, which is like a Star of David here, with two equilateral triangles. This is called the Anahat. That means the center where there is a sound without striking two objects together. If you can make a sound by clapping with one hand, something like that, which you can't. So this is Anahat. So Muladhara, Swadhisthana, Manipura, Anahat, and here is the Visshuddhi, which is represented as a round, small egg-shaped. It can be this way or that way. And here is the Ajna Chakra, which is white in color, and has just two petals and a small spark in the middle, like white shivling. White shivling, that's how we traditionally look at it. White shivling with where the Shiva's third eye, that there is a spark, like a diamond up there, like a diamond in the sky here. So, and on both sides are two white, milk white petals. You don't have to go into it. There are some people who are very visual. For them it's great to go into it, otherwise it's okay. For our purpose, not required. And then this is the 1,000-petal lotus, which means multi-splendid technicolor. Okay. So now what happens? Each of this, I told you they have colors. This is golden yellow for Prakriti. This is, and they also have tattvas, meaning principles, not principles. I don't know how to explain. Oh, yeah, elements.
Qualities.
Tattva.
Essence.
Essential attributes. Essential. So, like this lowest one is called Prakriti. Now, Prakriti is yellow, it means solid. Even though it is represented by a square, it actually is a cube, which means a solid. So, when as long as your consciousness or your awareness always going around this area only, then naturally your consciousness is also at the level of physical, material world. In fact, that's enough for all material advancement. In fact, if you know how to activate it only and use it for, you might achieve terrible, not terrible, great results, but it's of no use. And then, so this is, okay. What is the next step? Now this one is like a moon, crescent moon. It represents the apas tattva. Apas means not just water, liquid. So from solid, your awareness is shifting to a much more subtler plane, which is liquid. And why is it like the moon? Because moon represents cool breath, the coolness. And it's also supposed to control the tides. So it's connected with the liquid area. And it's also connected to imagination, controlled imagination. Luna is connected to imagination. Moment it loses control, then it is Luna. So, controlled imagination. So, this is so from the solid state, your awareness is being lifted to a subtler state, which is the liquid state. And then from there to this center, the Manipura chakra, which represents fire. Now, why fire? Combustion, heat, energy, desire, everything is here. You can say that it's almost the same place as the solar plexus. You know how the solar plexus, somebody attacks you and you against the wall and you can do nothing. If you raise your knee and hit the solar plexus, they'll release you. Suddenly the breath goes off. This is solar plexus. I'm sorry. So this is red in color, this means it's fire. So from the liquid state, which means the next subtle state, using the combustion, it is lifted to the next subtle state, which here is Vayu. Vayu doesn't mean just air, vaporous state. And this color is red, fire red, and this is sky blue. Nice light sky blue. And the next one, Visshuddha, is Akasha. So we have come here up to Vayu. Akasha cannot be put in, there is no word in English for Akasha. What it means is the primordial, undifferentiated state of matter, which after differentiation has become this world of different forms and shapes and colors. So in its original form of undifferentiated primordial matter is Akasha. So that is represented here by the Visshuddha. And the Visshuddhi chakra's color is indigo. Indigo. And then you come to the Ajna, which I told you is white, milk white, and so on. And this is the nearest center to the topmost center. It's very interesting that the Ajna chakra, if you draw a line from there straight inside, and you draw a line from the middle of the head down, roughly where they meet is the pineal and the pituitary, one close to each other. And these are very important glands from our point of view. So, and then the Sahasrara. When the Sahasrara is the highest level up to which our awareness in this life, in this physical body can go. Okay. I think that's sufficient for most. There are people who The awareness reaches up to here or here and they feel it's over. But no, we need to go more further up. So the process of Kriya is basically to bring the energies down here and then to raise the energies through the Sushumna. But before that, you need to clean the Sushumna. So the first step of Kriya is how to clean the Sushumna, which we learn. And the next step is then how to make it ascend slowly and treat it with kid gloves. It's a very sensitive thing. So don't push too much hard like in Hatha Yogic practices. Go very slowly, carefully. So this is now. Later on, you will see why this is important. Each of them also, as they have a color, they also have a sound, which is called the Bijakshara. Now, the sound for the Mooladhara is Lam. Not lamb, but Lam. Vam. Not Vam. Okay? Because sometimes somebody told me in the Delhi airport there is a South Indian restaurant called Vango. I said, very strange name for a South Indian. Then I realized Vango. Come. So this is Vam. Then this is Rang. Not Ram or Ram, but Ram. Heat. Liquid heat. Ram. And then here Yam. Yam. Tamil Nadu I am also referred to as Yam. Always remember Yam. Yam. And then Lam, Ram, Lam, Vam, Ram, Yam, Hum. Hum. This is Om. This is also Om. We put the Nama here from here, Om, up to here. One Om. So these are the sounds, the Bijaksharas of the different chakras. So when you combine the Kriya and then later on do Chakra Dharana, then you make these sounds, not now. So got it clear? Anybody this side? Ayupoyinda? Okay. Now what I want to point out to you is that all these centers which we have described have their physical counterparts in the nerve plexuses which come from the parasympathetic. They form in the front. Plus, they also have some connection with the endocrine system, the ductless glands. Wherever you see a chakra, you will see there is some gland close by. Like here there is the thyroid and so on. I don't know, you have to ask medical people. There are, there is the adrenal glands here behind and so on. And then here is the pineal and the pituitary, inside, not here but inside. They all play a very important part in our lives. Normally, when we say we are happy, feel good, what happens? The pituitary pushes in a little bit of dopamine into the system. Aha, we are very happy. And what happens when we sleep? The pineal gland pushes a little bit of melatonin into the system. right? So we feel very sleepy. When the melatonin is not coming properly, your circadian rhythm is totally in disorder, and then you have jet lag. So what does the doctor ask you to do? Eat a melatonin tablet. Well, we don't eat melatonin tablets. We just come back and lie down in bed with our head hanging down so that there is a little bit of more circulation in this area, and then the pineal gland picks up. Half a day you might have, after that you're okay. People always ask me when I travel, tomorrow is the talk? Yes. Jet lag? No jet lag. Because you can't do it actually. So, it's a very moods and happiness and unhappiness, sorrow are all dependent also on your hormones. They are 50 to 60% chemical. Of course, something may trigger it, that's a different matter. They're chemical. Yoga is a practical system, how you know how to trigger it properly so that there is a right amount of, you don't have to have belief in yoga, you need to practice and find out. So, this is what it is. When we come for the afternoon session, first thing I want you to do is, if you have any doubts regarding what we did here and what we did before, let's clear that first. And then get into the practice, because otherwise when you are practicing, these doubts can occur and it will kind of be an obstacle to your practice. So we still have 5 minutes for this session. We can still have some questions fresh from this, you can ask. Where are you? Who is there?
How would we know, like, which one is getting, like, which chakra is getting, where we have reached, like, if
You don't have to bother about that at all.
because you said, like, somebody saw it here and you don't know how to go further.
No. Don't get me wrong. I said, when this happens, so when it happens, you tell me. There's no point in theorizing about it.
We don't know when we reach here.
Of course you will know. How? This is very funny. You will know it, because when you reach, you will know it. Somebody came to me the other day and said, "Sir, I think my Kundalini has touched the Sahasrara chakra. Now what am I supposed to do next?" I said, "What? You have to do nothing." First of all, if you had touched, you wouldn't have come to me and asked me. So you'll know. It's self-evident. It's as sure and clear as saying, "I exist." Now, you can try and disprove it in many ways, but I know I exist. I mean, nobody can disprove my existence to me, right? It's similar to that, very similar to that.
Namaskaram.
Yes, Leo also wanted to ask.
My question is, the location of these chakras, is it towards the front of the body?
That's a good question. That's a good question. Yeah. It's a general area. Preferably when you do your practice, it's good to think of it as in the middle of the body, so that it applies both to the back and the front. If you ask me where is the Shushumna Nadi, actually it's running parallel to the spine. Parallel to the spine. So if you do it in the middle of your body, that's enough. So all the chakras and centers would be located there. Why is nobody giving? He's been putting up his hand for ages. He says okay.
Namaste Guruji. Did you say that pehle the energy it all has to go down to the root chakra and then go back up? Okay, I've never heard that before. Always heard it rising.
Right, but how do you get it enough to rise there without having come down?
So would you
So that's Kriya.
Nay, what is the reason that first we go down? I mean, when you go down, I've heard that's where the Maya is. You get, So going up is more like.
Now you got yourself all messed up. So let's clear
I know that. That's why I'm here.
it. We'll clear.
Untangle it.
We'll untangle
Yeah.
it.
And then there is a
क्योंकि
negative.
because you said something in Hindi, so क्योंकि वो ये है कि ये जो नाड़ी में जो एनर्जीज हैं हमारी वो डिस्ट्रैक्टेड और इधर उधर वेस्ट हो जाती है, डिस्पर्स्ड हो जाती है। इसको डिस्पर्स से मिला कर लेके एक जगह में जो मिला के लेके आते हैं ना, वो एक्शन पहले चाहिए, तभी वो सुषुम्ना से ऊपर जाने का उसको स्ट्रेंथ मिलेगा, नहीं तो नहीं मिलेगा।
But then is that true that the Maya is, I mean, you're getting more stuck, like.
But we are not going to sit there, we are trying to move up from
Okay.
there. When they say Maya, it simply means that the Muladhara, the lowest center, which is called the root foundation, is also the center that operates sex.
Okay.
And the biggest Maya is that. That's what it means. So that's the biggest attraction for human beings after food and, shelter and all that. What is the most powerful thing? That. So then if you get caught up in that, then you may not want even to rise up, because that's also a kind of ecstasy. Only thing is, when you realize that this ecstasy is kind of
Permanent and with you.
no 1,000 megaton explosion, then so till then you are stuck down, because that's the only thing you know. We'll go into that.
And the third eye.
Third eye, this is the center. We can't go inside, so we need to start here and go inside. It's in the center. You cannot open it with drilling a hole, please. Not possible. Stay clear of that.
So I have two questions, but I'll save the other one for later. This one is about this. So it's related to the position of the Sushumna. When I'm feeling inside, what I feel is the Sushumna feels very central as opposed to closer to the front. It feels very central. It feels like almost like a constricted cord to the center, which is so. There's that observation. Then when practicing, it feels as though it's difficult to actually practice within that constricted cord. So the breathing ends up feeling like the breathing is not really working within that. However, if I rest my mind within it, then I feel like there's something occurring.
So you need to link the two. It takes time to link the two. The feeling as well. Actually, the breath has to go through that tube, through the constriction. You know why it's not possible? Because it's not yet been cleaned up properly. So the first step in Kriya is to clean up this tube. After the tube is clean, then you will find it very easy to take the breath up that way.
And is that cleaning process
Part of Kriya.
better done? So my question for quite a while has been, it feels as though more occurs, and I simply rest my mind along the entire channel, and then I feel things occurring, I feel things to open, etc.
Right. Now this question should come after you have actually learned what we are trying to say here. In the Kriya, then you will know what, some of the partly what you asked will be answered. If you still have a doubt, we can work on it. Yeah. But it's a important aspect, what you're saying. We'll work on that. Yeah.
So can we break for lunch? Or
There is one more hand
many hands up.
Only two? No, there are 5. Okay, we'll do it later. Okay? Keep your questions ready and come. But don't waste too much time, then you will miss the Kriya. Okay, thank you. I hope things are going okay for you. Are you all okay with this? Or do I need to change my mode? Scream or something. Thank you.